What is good, bros and bras? And we're doing a Tekken 7 discussion video once again, and this is more of a serious discussion video because there is something that I have to get off my chest, and that is based on the title that Tekken 7 will not use scummy DLC scams. Yes, I am dead serious. I would live and die by this because I believe in Harada and his team when it comes to the production of Tekken 7, because Harada gave me no reason to doubt him on numerous occasions, and I'm going to talk about that right now. He's going to deliver an amazing game with definitely a better launch date than Street Fighter 5. I'm sorry, I'm hacking on Street Fighter 5. I own that game. I actually enjoy playing that game. I am also a Capcom fan at heart, but I am not proud of what Capcom did. And so why don't we go ahead and start by talking about DLC. Now, DLC is a pretty touchy subject, especially for OG gamers like myself that lived in a generation where DLC never existed. Just a variety of complete games, and the newer generation has no idea what it was like to play a game with in-game unlocks by literally completing the game here and now. You don't need to buy anything, you just get it by completing the game. Now, I'm not trying to generalize the new generation because there are some people of the newer generation that experienced more of what it was like to play before DLC and online existed, but there's a lot of people that don't necessarily understand this as much as, like I said, the OG gamers, bruh. Now, DLC is downloadable content that should be used to expand the life of a game, not make a half-ass game and make people pay for unfinished products. There's a difference between expanding a game and straight up cash grabbing. There's a huge difference. There's a fine line, like a thread, a thin thread of twine that you don't want to pluck like a freaking weak string, bruh. I know I'm talking crazy right now, but this is how I feel in regards to this. Now, let me give you some examples of legit DLC and then DLC that's just totally fudged up. Yes, I said fudged up. So let's start with DLC that's actually legit, and I have the perfect example, which is the development team known as Harmonix, which was a group responsible for creating a legendary rhythm game known as Rock Band. And that game was absolutely amazing. This game was on the PlayStation 3, and it was just, whew, they did a very good job at expanding the life of the game by using DLC in a legitimate fashion. And here's what I mean by this. Pretty much the game comes with, let's say, maybe like an estimate of 50 to 80 tracks on the disc, and that's more than enough to start playing and enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. But then when you look at the amount of DLC that they had available, it was a gigantic fudging library. So much shit that it would be absolutely impossible to fit all of that music on one disc. You just had a plethora of choices. It was absolutely astounding, and I played Rock Band for years. And that was amazing. That was DLC done right. Now let's talk about the DLC that was done wrong, and I am sorry I'm gonna have to do you wrong like this. I'm gonna have to step on your toes, Capcom. Got to step on the toesies. I love Street Fighter 5. I love it even more than 4. because of the variety that the game provides, but the way that game looked at launch was disastrous. They literally gave us a damn beta at launch. So many features that were missing. Story was horrible. Street Fighter 4's story mode was way more enjoyable than 5's. Now I do understand that when it comes to the fighting game community, it's more about getting good. You know, it doesn't have anything to do with story mode. You know, they be like, they're just nothing but filthy casuals. This is a man's game. You get fighting games to get good. Well, that's bullshit because you're a customer. When you are a customer, you should get what you paid for. I'm not paying for no fucking beta. I'm sorry, I just couldn't hold that one in. I'm not paying for that. I want the full-on experience, or at least get an experience that is as complete as possible. I understand that there are due dates and all of that good stuff. I know that. There's more pressure for that nowadays. But it's no excuse. No excuse. Now, let's move on to the other things that we're missing. Trial mode? Combo trials? Not available at launch? What the fudge is this? I thought this was Street Fighter. They usually always have the trials. The lobby was garbage? What? Yes. If I'm not mistaken, you could only have one other player in the lobby at launch. Or it might not have, the lobby may not have even been available at all. I don't remember much about the lobby because it was long ago, but it was severely limited during the first couple weeks of its release. And then the small ass character roster. I mean, now this was kind of understandable to a certain degree because they did say that the character's going to be small and we would get characters like monthly or bi-monthly and spit like that, and then we could use points to buy the characters, or we could literally buy them if we're not able to get the points. And that's where the tactic can be a bit scummy, because not everyone that gets Street Fighter V is actually going to be able to accumulate enough points to actually purchase these characters, because like there's a big bulk of the points you actually get by completing combo trials, and if people struggle with that, they're going to have a hell of a difficult time accumulating points fast, because it will take a pretty lengthy amount of time in order to acquire those points, especially since there is a season 2. Yes, a season 2 as of this year. Another list of characters, and you're like, whoa, that's gonna be a lot of Street Fighter that's going to have to be played a lot. And oh my gosh, in my opinion, it's kind of scummy as well, because even though they're saying it's free, it's only free if you're able to put in enough work to get the points to get these characters. And even then, there is going to be people who's going to want those characters right away, especially if they're not even able to get the points. So they're just going to have to straight up pay out of pocket in order to get these characters. And oh my gosh, a good friend of mine, I don't want to say his name because I don't want to really put him out on the spot. I don't want to put him on the spot. But man, I have a bro that's in the Street Fighter, and he knows a friend that literally paid for Street Fighter V, the season pass for season 1. Yes, he got all the characters, but the season pass did not cover the costumes, and it did not cover the stages. And this bro literally spent $400 on Street Fighter V. The fudge, 400 fudging dollars? Rip. That's straight up wallet rape, bruh. They raped his wallets. They raped that dude. Oh my gosh. And the reason why he got ripped was because, one, he paid for them individually, and that's worse. If you don't buy things in bundles, it's like you're literally paying double money. So Bruh, I mean, how can you sit there and literally say that's not scummy practices? And to a certain degree, it is. And I'm going to abide by that, you know. Now, one of the things that was mentioned was Capcom stated that the reason why the game turned out the way it did at launch is because they wanted the game out for Evo. I would have been fine and dandy. However, there was one thing that made me believe that that was just a lame excuse to save face. And that was the fact that Harada and his team literally took an early build of Tekken 7 and they brought it to Evo. Their players played extremely well. It was a fantastic run for Tekken 7 at Evo of 2015, if I'm not mistaken. It was amazing. And that game wasn't even close to being finished. So looking at that excuse that Capcom made is a legitimate excuse, because Capcom could have done the exact same thing. They could have waited a little longer until the game was more complete, then put the game out. I mean, it would have looked far less scummy and people would have gave them less heat for that. And the way they did it, it ruined their sales for the launch date. It literally ruined the sales. So, I mean, they shot themselves in the foot, in my opinion. That was like a lost opportunity. Now, why don't I go ahead and talk about why I believe in Harada? And the main reason why I believe in him is because this man is true to his word. He never let me down yet. And the fact of the matter is, I don't think he will for Tekken 7. This is crucial for the success of Tekken 7. He's not going to blow this. So back during the release of Tekken Tag 2, some people found hidden data on the disc that revealed characters that were not playable. Those characters were Dr. Boskanovich, Miharu, Sebastian, Slim Bob, Violet, and Unknown. Oh wait, but then there was even a pre-order bonus to where there were some characters that you can actually play much sooner, and they were free as well. And I'm talking about Ancient Ogre, Angel, Konemitsu, and Michelle Chang. It was amazing. All of those characters were free. Now, it did take a bit more time in order to get those characters, but they were free. You know, Harada firmly stated his case about DLC. He personally doesn't like DLC because of how DLC is occasionally misused, especially during this day and age. You know, he told everyone that the characters would be free. It doesn't require money, and it most definitely does not require battle points in order to get these characters. You don't believe me? I'll go ahead and pin that article in the comment section as well, so you can check it out for yourself. If he personally doesn't like DLC, especially the way he said the DLC is misused, then I'm sure he's going to stick to his guns when it comes to Tekken 7. I know that there's the whole thing about due dates and things of that nature, and they may be pressured to use some kind of DLC method, but there's never has been a time where people had to pay for character DLC. Now, if there was any DLC that I would think would be paid DLC, it would be things that's not necessarily required to enjoy the game, such as customization pieces. Because back in Tekken Tag 2, you can actually pay for tracks from the previous games and actually use them to actually play Tekken Tag 2. Like, while you're playing, you can actually feature specific tracks from the game on specific stages while playing Tekken Tag 2. And you know what? That's okay DLC because it expands. It's not necessarily part of the game, but it's something you can use to expand the experience. So I'm not worried. I am not worried. And if there's any of you that are upset about how long it's taken for Tekken 7 to happen, you shouldn't be upset, because of the simple fact that you should be more happy that it's taken a long time, because we would be getting a more complete game on launch day. Because think about it, if we was to get Tekken 7 a year and a half ago, we would be in the same situation that those people, including myself, were in when we purchased Street Fighter V at launch. We would be stuck with a beta title, and we would literally be waiting for tons of content to actually be given to us. So what we are seeing things coming to us. Characters that were not there in the first build, and they're telling us, yo, these characters are going to be in the game, don't worry. And so I'm thinking what could potentially happen is, if there's some characters they just couldn't get to, or felt like they wasn't necessarily needed in the game right away, they'll probably just do what they did. Well, probably they will do what they did back with Tekken Tag 2. And what they would do is they would just make those characters playable a little later for free. It would not cost you anything. So like I said before, if there's anything we would probably pay for, it's probably maybe customization parts or something, maybe a few extra pieces or special pieces or something. But I feel that's okay, because that's designed to expand the game, and that should be how DLC is used, not to do what Capcom is doing. And so this is my reasoning as to why we should believe in Tekken 7, and that Tekken 7 is going to be a wonderful experience at launch. And so with that off of my chest, I hope you enjoyed this video. Now there will be some articles that I will pin in the comment section below if you want to check them out. So if you have anything you would like to add, go ahead and do that spit with gusto by putting that in the comment section, and make sure to do that spit with gusto by doing the following. If you like this video, comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you bros and bras next time. Peace.